Tinder, a dating app, a dating website, an application. And today we're reacting to top 10 unsettling Tinder encounters posted on Reddit. I don't really use Reddit much, so I don't really know how this all works. But you know what? We're going to watch it.
Hello everybody, I'm your host Woody, and today we're going to be taking
You're from
a
Toy
look
Story.
at
What are you
the
doing?
top 10 unsettling Tinder encounters posted on Reddit. From the totally bizarre to the totally scary, let's get into it. Number 10, the scanner. This story comes from a user when she was in freshman year of college. She had never been with a boy and had never even kissed one, and she decided she was tired of being so sheltered, so she started going on Tinder. She met a boy for dinner and a movie after they had been chatting for a while, and everything seemed pretty normal. He was then supposed to drive her home, and it was late at night when she realized she had no idea where they were. The car was just on a gravelly road surrounded by farmland. The man said that he was just taking the back roads. Not ominous at all. He says that they were not far away and asked if he could turn on his police scanner. Her just thinking, okay, maybe this guy is a little weird. He then pulled over the car to the side of the road and turned off the headlight. Rightfully, she panicked and pretended to receive a phone call for her mom, being sure to say on the call that she was on a date and would be home soon. And he then took her home. To this day, she is glad she got out of the situation, as she fears what might have happened on that road. Number 9,
some
the dog.
spooky stuff.
This one comes from a user who started talking to a guy on Tinder who happened to live just down the street from her. The guy would apparently constantly talk about his dog and how he wanted her to come over to his place so she could meet the dog. Eventually, she did agree to come over, and he told her to park her car diagonally next to a large boat that he had in the driveway, leaving only a few inches of room on either side. They eventually get in after the man answered the door in his boxers, and she saw that there was almost no furniture inside the home. He then started asking her strange questions like if anyone was expecting to see her that night, what's her blood type, and who does she live with. She then realizes that this whole time she hasn't seen a dog or any evidence that one even lives there. When she asked about it, he simply smiled and continued on with his questions. She eventually managed to leave after he begged her to stay, and then later asked her to join him on a ride into the mountains. Thinking back, she believes that he made her park her car so tightly so she wouldn't be able to quickly escape.
Bro,
Number 8, the
big.
friend.
Like, I use Tinder, but I would never do anything like that. Fucking hell. The dog. The scanner. Oh, we got the friend next. Who's the friend? What's he all about? What's going on?
Number 8, the friend. This story comes from a self-called introvert who decided it was time for herself to open up and step into the dating world. She matched with a guy and they hit it off pretty well, talking pretty often. She enjoyed talking, but realized that every time they spoke, she got a lot of anxiety and had kind of a bad gut feeling about it. But she brushed it off as maybe just her introverted tendencies. Her friends encouraged her, and she continued to speak with him after a brief period of ignoring his messages. She agreed to go out to dinner with him, but when she showed pictures to her friends, they pointed out that he looked pretty similar to a shitty ex of hers, and so she panicked and called off the date, unable to continue with it. She then started receiving tons of calls from him, begging her to speak to him again, and when she finally picked up, the person calling revealed that they weren't even her Tinder match, but instead his friend. He said that the man had said he could have her, and that he knew what school she went to, and he would just hang around campus and wait. She blocked him, and fortunately, she never heard from them again. Number 7, the train. One of the most important parts of going anywhere is making sure you have a way to get home. And the guy...
This woman matched with this man on Tinder, but it turns out he wasn't a man. He was a bullet train from Japan on his way over across the 7 seas to come to Nebraska and run his ass over.
Making sure you have a way to get home. And the guy in this story was presumptuous about where he was going to be spending the night. This girl invited her Tinder date to a concert where he proceeded to get incredibly drunk and unruly. She got tired of it and decided that she was gonna ditch and go to a bar with some of her friends. So she asked him when his last train home was, and he responded by saying it was already gone. She was shocked and asked him how he was planning to get home, and he responded with, "I'm coming home with you." you. Pretty assuming,
no, you're
threatening,
not.
and creepy. He followed them to the bar, but he was soon kicked out for being so drunk that he couldn't even stand up. The next morning, she woke up to a string of pathetic phone calls from him and finding out that he had ended up in the emergency room after being so drunk he fell through a window. Number 6, the bag.
Those
This one
you're
is
right,
probably
mate.
the most
bag.
intense and unsettling on this list. The girl had finally
Okay,
made it to
give
the
it to me.
third date with her Tinder match and feeling
happy
pretty
days.
comfortable, agreed to hang out with him in his home. He poured her a glass of wine and for the most part things seemed to be going well
was it
until she
spiked?
started feeling the effects of something else having been mixed in her wine. Fortunately, she recognized the feeling and made it to the bathroom where she notified the police. She passed out but was woken up by the police who put a bag over her head to lead her out of the home. A few days later, she was requested to come down to the police station and give her statement of what she was able to remember about
Why
that
was
night.
there a bag
And she
on her head?
remembered the police having put a bag over her head, curious about why they would have done that. They responded that it was so she couldn't see what the man had set up for her throughout the house. Number 5, the theorist. Now to lighten the situation, let's look at one post that is a little less terrifying. This one comes from a guy who was staying in a hotel in a different city,
Theorist,
deciding
they
to
say.
invite a girl over from Tinder to make the night a little more interesting. When she got there, they shared small talk and ended up talking about astrology. Being nice, he encouraged her to continue, and continue she did. Eventually, she started talking about how she fully believes in various different conspiracy theories like the Illuminati, fluorinated water, Washington being arranged into a pentagram, and other various things. He said that unfortunately this made him lose any interest in her, and eventually it got so late that she just decided to leave. Not scary, but more just amusing and bizarre, and honestly thinking back on it, that may have been me. Number 4, the stalker.
I mean, that's
this
not
one
that
comes
bad.
from a girl who started messaging
This
with
is
a guy
bad,
on Tinder
probably.
that wasn't her usual type, but still attractive enough. She notes how she made the dumb mistake of mentioning where she worked in their conversation.
What
The
a
same night she
dickhead.
mentioned that, she was at work and saw a guy walk past who looked eerily like her Tinder match. A couple days later, she was at work again and was speaking to the man over the phone when she mentioned she would have to talk to him later because her phone battery was almost dead and she didn't have a charger. Just 10 minutes later, the same man she had seen the other day, her Tinder match, walked in with a phone charger for her to use, even though he had said he lived on the very other side of the city. She decided to cut ties there and saw that earlier in the day he had posted a selfie on Instagram with the caption, "I am now a taken man." She said that for weeks afterwards, she would still see him walking
weird.
outside of her work.
Again, why would you do that? Like, what is the point in stalking and like trying to like trap someone into feeling like they can't do anything or go anywhere without someone being there? Like, it's just ugly. It's ridiculous. It's pointless. Like, why would you do that? I could never imagine myself ever doing that because it's just wrong.
Number 3, the abductee. Now let's
Oh,
look
lovely.
at another story
Doesn't get
that
any better.
definitely could have maybe been me if I were a man. This girl met a man on
Thank you.
Tinder that she
you
had
don't
a
assume
great
that.
time talking online with, and they seemed to get along really well. So they met up, but she then realized that she just wasn't really fully attracted to him, but they decided to keep talking. As time went on, he proceeded to talk about how he had been abducted by
Outlaws
aliens
2?
throughout his life, and even as far back as into his childhood. He had apparently been taken by the aliens multiple times because they had placed a tracking device in his arm, even showing her a
They should have
scar
been a
that he
doctor.
had where he believed it had been placed. She decided that was finally where she had to call it off, and he admitted he felt stupid for bringing it up on the first date. I don't know, is alien abduction something you would want to get out there quickly, or is that like a third date, fourth date kind of thing?
It's like
Number
a
2,
fourth
the
year
cats.
thing,
This one
maybe.
comes from a guy who decided to meet
Oh,
with his
bees,
Tinder date
bees,
for the first
bees.
time at a barbecue she was having with some of her
Wait, what,
coworkers.
is she
They
barbecue
got
cat?
along pretty
Oh, no, they
well,
met.
and by
Oh,
the
okay.
end of the night, she invited him to
Well,
come over
this
to her place,
isn't
and
Tinder,
he
then.
agreed. On the way to her
Alright.
house, she mentions that she takes in stray cats. He says that he's allergic, but it shouldn't be an issue as long as he doesn't touch them, thinking that she has like maybe 3 or 4. She responds by saying that she has 15. When they opened the door, he saw a dozen set of eyes staring back at him from the darkness. The house was apparently in a complete state of of disarray due to the cats and the girl apparently not putting very much effort into cleaning. He didn't back out immediately, but after watching about half of a movie, he decided he needed to get out of there. When he woke up a few hours later, he discovered his eyes had been swollen almost completely shut because of the cats. Number 1, the mom. This one is incredibly short and not overly unsettling, but is arguably the best one on this list and one of the biggest red flags ever. This girl agreed to meet her Tinder date for dinner, and when she got there, he was already there with his mother. He said that she had to be there because he and his mom were a package deal. Would you move forward with that date, or would you just walk out right there? Thank you guys for watching. That was 10
would be
unsettling
gone.
encounters.
I would walk straight away. I'd be like, bruv, this is a date. This is a personal thing. This is a one-to-one. You've brought your mother along, or your father, or your brother, or your sister. Don't bring anyone else along. If you want to bring a friend with you, sure, but have them as like a wing person, have someone who's sitting in the background observing, you know what I mean? That's fair enough, because you want to make sure that nothing goes wrong, you want to make sure it all goes smoothly. You don't have your mother sitting there with you at a date. Like, come on, just know what you do. Just know what you do. Dates are dates, bro. What are your thoughts on this video? Top 10 unsettling Tinder encounters. Post on the Reddit. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, and don't forget to leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Like, subscribe, start a movement. I've been BDFO18. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.